Thank you once again so much for listening. We got K-Dub on the line. We're going to get into the NBA, and we ain't going to waste no time. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's going on, man? What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, we
Not
good.
much, K-Dub.
We good.
Yo,
we
what's
good.
up? What's up?
I was sitting there vibing any heartbreak. My bad. I was distracted.
I thought I heard something in the background. I was like, you got a party going on?
Man, you wait till they come.
Yeah, I was back here doing the running, man, waiting for y'all to phone up.
I tell you this much, I wish I was a single man just be outside the Coliseum when they leave the show in that night, boy. I tell you. Be some upset women coming out there. Y'all need some love. Come here, let me give you a hug.
Hey man, I Need Love was LL Cool J, but I digress.
Yeah, please digress on that one.
You know what? You missed the whole point.
Dwight Howard. I mean, he was looking like a little. I don't want to say punk, but he was looking like a little something.
Wow,
the other night.
K-Dub, he ain't waste no time, did he?
Hey, man, he was on the bench last night. He didn't play. He was on the bench looking like Clark Kent. What happened was real awkward. A lot of people might have saw last week there was a situation where his coach had said something to the reporters about him being asked to be let go per Dwight Howard. Then you might have saw the video where Dwight Howard came and put his arm around him or whatever. I mean, it was an awkward situation. And then later on that night, basically they got smacked by the Knicks. I really, like I said before, man, it's a real crazy situation right there. Personally, I think Van Gundy's not going to be there next year. I really don't think with less than 12 games left in the season that they're going to let him go. Plus, they're in the sixth position in the Eastern Conference. But it's a real crazy situation right there. And you can literally look at that team, and I would say within about a year from now, it may not look anywhere near what it looks like right now. Dwight Howard may not be there. Van Gundy may not be there. It's a real crazy situation out there.
Whose fault is that, K-Dub? Your opinion?
Whose fault it is? You know what, man? Because we're not actually in the rooms. I believe it's a little bit of play. I believe it's a little bit of management. People talking too much, because if Dwight Howard if in fact Dwight Howard shared that information with someone, I would think that it was shared with them in confidence, or why would Van Gundy bring that up if he even knew? To be honest with you, I think that coaches always feel like when players may not be feeling them and want them to leave or what have you, why would Van Gundy bring that up? So it's really hard to say who specifically is to blame with that. I give the blame a little bit to everybody. Let's go ahead and chop it up.
Let me ask you this, Dub. As we know that Stan Van Gundy is the head coach there in Orlando, his younger brother, Jeff, of course, former coach of the Houston Rockets and New York Knicks, now an analyst for the Four Letter Network, occasionally has to do games for his brother. You and I are like brothers. We've been like brothers since we was children. I know that if I had to broadcast games and seeing you go through a rough spot, it would be difficult for me. How do you think it works out for Jeff when he has to do games with his brother, knowing about all the turmoil that's going on there in Orlando with his star player?
Well, I think on the public scale, he's being a professional, at his particular job, not showing any type of bias. Here and there you can throw little jabs or whatever like that, but he's being a professional. I remember seeing a piece on HBO where they talked about how Van Gundy, the year that Miami lost in the finals, Van Gundy kind of, if you listen to the audio, he was real silent for a while because he was feeling that same type of pain for his brother, getting ready to leave. So I think with this type of situation going on with Van Gundy, I believe Stan Van Gundy, he's trying his best, and little brother is sitting there, just being a professional. You can't ask anymore. I'm sure it's tough. I mean, we all know how we talk when we talk to our friends.
Right.
About certain situations. You don't hold your tongue, but on a professional scale, especially when you're on the mic, you got to be professional about what you're doing.
Gotcha. 804-447-0601 is the new number to dial. 804-447-0601.
Hey, K-Dub, let's bring it up to Coast just a little bit and slightly west. What's going on with my boys out there in Memphis?
Memphis is actually, they're sitting at the 5th position in the Western Conference. They're 10 games about 500, but over the last few weeks, man, they've just kind of turned it up. You know, you've seen them play against Oklahoma City and beat them. They just beat the Clippers last night. They got Zach Randolph back from a knee injury earlier this year. I mean, not a lot of people are talking about them, but I would definitely be on alert if I was the Clippers, because they would possibly play them in the first round of the playoffs, and just by watching the game last night, they can play with them, they can beat them. You know, they beat San Antonio last year in the first round.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are not really talking about Memphis. You know, Rudy Gay, Gasol, Zach Randolph. I mean, they got O.J. Mayer. They got a lot of good young players, a lot of good young talented cats out there.
It's good to see Zebo is back on the court. How's he looking?
Real good. I mean, he's not back to that form that we're used to seeing him. You know, the double a night, but he's making a difference. You know, the coach is bringing him in gradually. Well, actually, he's starting to get more minutes now that we're starting to get toward the end of the season. So I could see him being possibly close to what we know him to be around that first round of the playoffs.
You know, it's beautiful that Memphis is doing well. It's making that Pacific Division title all the more important to get that 3 seed.
Here we go.
My boys, the Lakers, we've been down 2 out of 3.
Here we go.
But, you know, with no Kobe, we still trying to do what we got to do.
The fakers.
What's going on with them, K-Dub? Hater.
Man, the Lakers, man, you always they wanted to
it's a good thing you come in prepared.
Clippers. With the amount of games that's left, they need to be easy because they can easily fall out of that 5 position. And like you said, the Western Conference is so tight that all you need is a bad week, and you may wind up going from the 3 position down to the 6 position.
Very true.
6 position is sitting at 10 games back, and the Lakers are 6.5 back from Oklahoma City. So, you know, hey, listen, if you got cats like World Peace throwing passes as he did last night, almost costing them the game, and they played against a struggling New Orleans team that's 15-42, I think you better, I mean, I understand what you're talking about, but you may want to, I don't want to say be concerned, but you want to keep your eye on your team.
You know, I'm a little bit more concerned that Kobe's really not playing, but you know what? I think we're okay. We're game half up on the clip joints. You know, as long as we can keep that game and a half lead, that's all that's important, because you're right. That's a difference between a 3 seed and a 7 seed, and like literally in a couple games. And as long as we win that specific division title, that's the number 3 seed guaranteed. That keeps us out of the Memphis sweepstakes, because I think that Memphis is going to win the first round against the clip joints and going to give Oklahoma City a run for their money.
Pick up before you answer that, K-Dub. T. Hunt is hitting us again on the Facebook page. He's telling us, bottom line, it falls on Dwight. He's going back to the conversation on Orlando. It falls on Dwight because if he dominated like we all believe he could, none of this would be a question. The Magic would be 3rd easily, and he capitalizes. He capitalizes easily.
He is exactly right. Let's think about, I hate to go back to a lot of old players, but let's be honest. He could be the Patrick Ewing of Orlando.
Oh, come on.
With the title.
Do we really want him?
Understand what I'm saying? Because you're staying at one franchise. Better it's not New York, but he could be the guy where he could have the franchise. He can be the franchise man, retire, and know that he brought a championship to Orlando. Something that Shaq did not do while he was in Orlando.
No.
But you know,
and plus he is the face of the franchise. You got to be bigger than whatever's going on around you.